Hare Krishna everyone, let's do a path book reading. So let me share the Om Jnana Timirandisya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunidhitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Mahyam Dadati Swabadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapatakamadam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaragunatam Mitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganarita Shri Vishakamitamsha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shurnyavadi Vaschadari Shadarani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradaya Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauriti She Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishmanu Shuti Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarabhyashcha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Jabalidanam Bhavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Naradevata Devatvam Apannah Surakarya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadini Chakreviyani Atah Param. Synonyms for translation purpose by Divine Srila Prabhupada. Nara, human being, Devatvam, divinity, Apanna, having assumed the form of Sura, the demigods, Karya activities, Chikirshaya, for the purpose of the performing, Samudra, the Indian Ocean, Nigraha Adini, controlling, etc. Chakra did perform, Viryani, superhuman in power prowess, Ataha Param thereafter. Translation: in the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as King Rama. In order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods, he exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist king Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. Purport: the personality of Goddess Sri Rama assumed the form of a human being and appeared on the earth for the purpose of doing some pleasing work for the demigods or the administrative personalities to maintain the order of the universe. Sometimes great demons and atheists like Ravana and Hiranyakashipu and many others become very famous due to advancing material civilization by the help of material science and other activities with a spirit of challenging the established order of the Lord. For example, the attempt to fly to other planets by material means is a challenge to the established order. The conditions of each and every planet are different, and different classes of human beings are accommodated there for particular purposes mentioned in the codes of the Lord. But puffed up by tiny success in the material advancement, sometimes the godless materialists challenge the existence of the God. Ravana was one of them, and he wanted to deport ordinary men to the planet of Indra, heaven, by material means without considering of the necessary qualifications. He wanted a staircase to be built up directly reaching the heavenly planet so that the people might not be required to undergo the routine of pious work necessary to enter that planet. He also wanted to perform other acts against the established rule of the Lord. He even challenged the authority of the Sri Rama, the personality of the God, and kidnapped his wife Sita. Of course, Lord Ram came to chastise this atheist, answering the prayer and desire of the demigods. He therefore took up the challenge of Ravana, and the complete activity is subject matter of Ramayana. Because Lord Ramchandra was the personality of Godhead, he exhibited superhuman activities which no human being, including the materially advanced Ravana, could perform. Ramachandra prepared a royal road in the Indian Ocean with stones that floated on the water. The modern scientists have done research in the area of the weightlessness, but it is not possible to bring in weightlessness anywhere and everywhere. But because weightlessness is a creation of the Lord by which He can make the gigantic planets fly and float in the air, He made the stones even within this earth to be weightless and prepared a stone bridge on the sea without any supporting pillar. That is the display of the power of God. एकोनविंशे विंशाति मे वृणिषु प्राप्य जन्मनि रामकृष्णाविति भुवो भगवान् आहरद्वरम्. Vinshe in the 19th, Vimshati me in the 20th also, Vrishnishu in the Vrishni dynasty, Prapya having obtained Janmani births, Rama, Balarama, Krishna or Sri Krishna, iti thus Bhuvaha of the world, Bhagavan, the personality of God, and Aharat removed Varam burden. Translation and purport. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the Yadu dynasty, and by so doing, he removed the burden of the world. Purport. The specific mention of the word Bhagavan in this text indicates that the Balarama and Krishna are original forms of the Lord. This will be further explained later. Lord Krishna is not an incarnation of the Purusha, as we learn from the beginning of this chapter. He is directly the original personality of God, and Balaram is the first plenary manifestation of the Lord. From Baladeva, the first phalanx of the plenary expansions, Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna expands. Lord Sri Krishna is Vasudeva, and Baladeva is Shankarshan. ततः कलौ सम्प्रभृते सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषं बुद्धो नाम्नाङ्गनसुताः किक तेषु भविष्यति. Tataha, thereafter, Kalau, the age of Kali, Sampravati, having ensued, Sammohaya, from the purpose of deluding Sura, the atheist, Dvisham, those who are envious, Buddha, Lord Buddha, Namna of the name, Anjana Sutaha, whose mother was Anjana, Kikateshu, in the province of the Gaya, Bihar, Bhavishyati, will take place. Translation. Then in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of the deluding those who are envious of the faithful taste. Purport. Lord Buddha, a powerful incarnation of the personality of Godhead, appeared in the province of the Gaya Bihar as the son of Anjana and preached his own conception of non-violence and depreciated even the animal sacrifices sanctioned in the Vedas. At the time when Lord Buddha appeared, the people in general were atheistic and preferred animal flesh to anything else restrictedly. Lord Buddha preached non-violence, taking pity on the poor animals. That he did not believe in the tenets of Vedas and stressed the adverse psychological effects incurred by animal killing. Less intelligent men of the age of Kali, who had no faith in God, followed his principle, and for the time being, they were trained in moral discipline and non-violence, the preliminary steps for proceeding further on the path of the God realization. He deluded the atheist because such atheists who followed his principles did not believe in God, but they kept their absolute faith in Lord Buddha, who himself was the incarnation of God. Thus, the faithless people were made to believe in the God in the form of Lord Buddha. That was the mercy of Lord Buddha. He made the faithless faithful to him. Wow. भगवान का कार्य बहुत transcendental रहता है ना. This is one of the example. Killing of the animals before the advent of the Lord Buddha was the most prominent feature of the society. People claimed that they were Vedic sacrifices when the Vedas were not accepted to the authority to disciplic succession. The casual readers of the Vedas are misled by the flowery language of that system of knowledge. In the Bhagavad Gita, a comment has been made on such foolish scholars. Avipaschitaha. The foolish scholars of the Vedic literature who do not care to receive the transcendental message, to the transcendentally realized sources of the disciplic succession, are sure to be bewildered. To them, the ritualistic ceremonies are considered to be all in all. They have no depth of knowledge. According to the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Vedaishcha sarvera hameva vidya. The whole system of the Vedas is to lead one gradually to the path of the Supreme Lord. The whole theme of the Vedic literature is to know the Supreme Lord, the individual soul, the cosmic situation, and the relation between all these items. When the relation is known, the relative function begins. Sambandha is very important. So, and the relative function begins, and as a result of as a function of such a function, the ultimate goal of life are going back to Godhead. Jesus, man. Unfortunately, unauthorized scholars of the Vedas become captivated with purificatory ceremonies only, and natural progress is thereby checked. To such bewildered persons of the atheistic propensity, Lord Buddha is the emblem of theism. He therefore first of all wanted to check the habit of the animal killing. The animal killers or dangerous elements on the path going back to God. There are two types of animal killers. The soul is also sometimes called the animal or the living being. Therefore, both the slaughters of animals, those who have lost their identity of soul, or animal killers. Maharaj Parikshit said that only the animal killer cannot relish the transcendental message of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, if people are to be educated to the path of the Godhead, they must be first taught and foremost stop the process of animal killing, as above mentioned. It is nonsensical to say that the animal killing has nothing to do with the spiritual realization. By this dangerous theory, many so-called sannyasis have sprung up by the grace of the Kali Yuga, who what? Grace of Kali Yuga, Prabhupada written, and who preach animal killing under the garb of the Vedas. The subject matter has already been discussed in the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Maulana Chand Kazi Sahib. The animal sacrifice, as stated in the Vedas, is different from the unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouse. Because the Asuras, or the so called scholars of the Vedic literature, put forward the evidence of the animal killing in the Vedas, Lord Buddha superficially denied the authority of the Vedas. This rejection of the Vedas by Lord Buddha was adopted in order to save people from the vice of animal killing, as well as to save the poor animals from the slaughtering process of their big brothers who clamor for universal brotherhood, peace, justice, and equity. There is no justice when there is animal killing. Lord Buddha wanted to stop it completely, and therefore his cult of Ahimsa was propagated not only in India but also outside the country. Technically, Lord Buddha's philosophy is called atheistic because there is no acceptance of the Supreme Lord, and because that system of philosophy denied the authority of the Vedas. But that is not an act of camel phase, camel camouflage. This is called camouflage by the Lord Buddha is the incarnation of the God. As such, he is the original propounder of the Vedic knowledge. He therefore cannot reject Vedic philosophy, but he rejected it outwardly because the Suradvisha, or the demons, who are always enemies of the devotees of the Godhead, try to support cow killing and animal killing from the pages of the Vedas, and this is now being done by the modernized sannyasis. Lord Buddha had to reject the authority of the Vedas altogether. This is simply technical, and had it not been so, he would not have been so accepted as the incarnation of Godhead, nor would he have been worshipped in the transcendental songs of the poet Jayadeva, who is a Vaishnava Acharya. Lord Buddha preached the preliminary principles of the Vedas in a manner suitable for the time being, and so also did the Shankaracharya to establish the authority of the Vedas. Therefore, both Lord Buddha and Acharya Shankara paved the path of theism, and Vaishnava Acharya, specifically Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, led the people on the path toward a realization of going back to God. We are glad that people are taking interest in the non-violent movement of Lord Buddha, but will they take the matter more seriously and close? And close. um the animal slaughters altogether. If not, there is no meaning of to the Ahimsa cult. Srimad Bhagavatam was composed just prior to the beginning of the age of Kali, about 5,000 years ago, and Lord Buddha appeared about 2,600 years ago. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Buddha is foretold. Such is the authority of this clear scripture. There are many such prophecies, and they are being fulfilled one after another. They will indicate the positive standing of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is without trace of mistake, illusion, cheating, and imperfection, which are the four flaws of the old conditioned souls. What is that? Mistake, illusion, cheating, imperfection, which are the four flaws of the old conditioned souls. The liberated souls are above these flaws, and therefore they can see and foretell things which are to be take place on a distant future dates. अथाशौ युगसन्ध्यायां दस्यु प्रायेषु राजसु जनिता जनिता विष्णु यशसो नामना कल्कि जगत्पतिः. Atha thereafter Asho, the same Lord, Yuga Sandhya, the conjunction of the Yuga, Dasyu plunders, Prayeshu, almost all Rajashu, the governing personality, Janita, will take his birth, Vishnu, named Vishnu Yashashaha, surnamed Yasha, Namna, in the name of the Kalki. Kalkihi, the incarnation of the Lord, Jagatpati, the Lord of the universe. Translation. Thereafter, at the conjunction of the two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation to become the son of Vishnu Yasha. Vishnu Yasha. At this time, the rulers of the earth will have degenerated into plunderers. Here is another foretelling of the advent of the Lord Kalki, the incarnation of the Lord. He is to appear at the conjunction of the two yugas, namely at the end of the Kali Yuga and at the beginning of the Satya Yuga. The cycle of the four yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, rotates like the calendar months. The present Kali Yuga will last 432,000 years, out of which we have finished the past only 5,000 years. After the battle of Kurukshetra and at the end of the regime of the King Parishas. So there are 427,000 years balance yet to be finished. Therefore, at the end of this period, the incarnation of the Kalki will take place as foretold in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The name of his father, Vishnu Yasha, a learned Brahman, and the village Sambala was also mentioned. As above mentioned, all these foretellings will prove to be factual in chronological order. That is the authority of the Srimad Bhagavatam. अवतार हि असङ्ख्येया हरिः सत्त्वनिधेर्द्विजः यथा विधाशिनः कुल्यः कुल्याः सरसः शिवसहस्रशः. Avatar incarnation, he is suddenly Asankhyayaha, innumerable Hare of Hari, the Lord, Sattaniddehe, of the ocean of the goodness, Dvijaha, the Brahmanas Yata, as it is, Abhidashinaha, inexhaustible, Kulyaha, rivulets, Sharashaha, of vast lakes, you are Sahasrasaha, thousands. O Brahmanas, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable like rivulets flowing from the inexhaustible sources of the water. The list of the incarnation, the personality we already here given herein is not complete. It is not only a partial view of the old incarnation. There are many others, such as Sri Hayagriva, Hari, Hamsa, Prishnigarba, Vibhu, Satyasena, Vaikunta, Sarvabhauma, Vishwakshena, Dharmasetu, Sudama, Yogeshwara, Brihadbhan, and others of the bygone ages. Sri Prahlad Maharaj said in his prayer, "My Lord, you manifest as many incarnations as there are species of life, namely the aquatics, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the men, and the demigods, etc., just for the maintenance of the faithful and annihilation of the unfaithful." What is the meaning of vegetables? You advent yourself in this way in accordance with the necessity of the different yugas. In the Kali Yuga, you have incarnated garbed as a devotee. This incarnation of the Lord in the Kali Yuga is the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many other places, both in Bhagavatam and other scriptures, in which the incarnation of the Lord as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explicitly mentioned. In the Brahma Samhita also it is said indirectly, although there are many incarnations of the Lord, such as Rama, Narasimha, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, many others, and Lord himself sometimes incarnates in person. Lord Krishna and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not therefore incarnation, but the original source of all other incarnations. That this will be clearly explained in the next sloka. So the Lord is an inexhaustible source for innumerable incarnations which are not always mentioned, but such incarnations are distinguished by the specific extraordinary feats which are impossible to be performed by any living being. That is the greatest test to the some to identify as incarnation of the Lord, directly and indirectly empowered. Some incarnations mentioned above are almost plenary portions. For instance, the Kumaras are empowered with the transcendental knowledge. Sri Narada is empowered with the devotional service. Maharaj Prithu is an empowered incarnation with the executive function. The Matsya incarnation is directly a plenary portion. So the innumerable incarnations of the Lord are manifested all over the universe constantly without cessation as water flows constantly from waterfalls. ऋषयो मनभूदेव मनुस्पुत्रा महौजसः कलाः सर्वे हरेर्येव सम्प्रजापत्ययः स्मृतः. Which all this is Manavaha, all the Manus, Devaha, all the demigods, Manu Putraha, all the descendants of the Manu, Maha Ojas, a very powerful Kala portion of the plenary portion, survey all together, all collected Hari of the Lord, Eva certainly Sa Prajapatiyaha, along with the Prajapati Smrataha or known. Translation: all the rishis, Manus, demigods, and descendants of the Manu who are especially powerful are plenary portions, the portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis. But those who are completely less powerful are called Vibhuti, and those who are comparatively more powerful are called Avish incarnations. Ete chansakalah pamshah Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyarivakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. Ete, all these cha and amsha plenary portions, kalaha portions of the plenary portions, vamsha of the Supreme Krishna, Lord Krishna, two by Bhagavan, the personality of Lord Swayam in person, Indrari, the enemies of the king, Indra Vyakulam, the disturbed lokam, all the planets, mirror gives protection in different ages. Translation perform. All of these above mentioned incarnations of the plenary portions of the plenary portions of the Lord, but Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality devoted. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheist. The Lord incarnates to protect the atheist. But in this particular scandal, Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of God, is distinguished from other incarnations. He is counted amongst the avatars incarnations because out of his causeless mercy, the Lord descends from his transcendental abode. Avatar means one who descends. All the incarnations of the Lord, including the Lord himself, descends on the different planets of the material world, as also in different species of life to fulfill the particular missions. Sometimes he comes himself, and sometimes he's different plenary portions, the parts of the plenary portions that he has the differentiated portions directly and indirectly empowered by him descend on this material world to execute certain specific functions. Originally, the Lord is full of appearances, all prowess, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. When they are partially manifested through the plenary portion of the parts of the plenary portion, it should be noted that certain manifestations of his different powers are required for those particular functions. When in a room, small electric bulbs are displayed, it doesn't mean that the electric powerhouse is limited by the small bulbs. The same powerhouse can supply power to operate large-scale industrial dynamos with greater volts. Wow. Similarly, the incarnations of the Lord displays limited powers because so much power is needed at that particular time. For example, Lord Parashurama and Lord Narasimha displayed power that even the demigods in other planets would tremble simply by the unfavorable raising of his eyebrow. The demigods in the higher level of the material existence many times excel the most well-to-do human beings in duration of life, beauty, wealth, paraphernalia, in all other respects. Still, they were afraid of the Hiranyakashipu. Thus, we can simply imagine how powerful Hiranyakashipu was in the material world. But even Hiranyakashipu was cut into small pieces with the nails of Lord Narasimha. This means that anyone materially powerful cannot stand the strength of the Lord's nails. Similarly, Jamadagnya display the Lord's power to kill all the disobedient kings powerfully situated in their respective states. The Lord's empowered incarnation Narada and plenary incarnation Varaha, as well as the indirectly empowered Lord Buddha, created faith in the mass of people. The incarnation of Rama and Dhanvantari displayed his fame, and Balaram, Mohini, Vamana exhibited his beauty. Oh. Dattatreya, Matsya, Kumara, and Kapila exhibited his transcendental knowledge. Nara and Narayan Rishi exhibited his renunciation. So all the different incarnations of the Lord indirectly and directly manifest different features. But Lord Krishna is the premier Lord, exhibited the complete features of the Godhead. Thus, it is confirmed that he is the source of all other incarnations. And the most extraordinary feature exhibited by Lord Sri Krishna was his internal energetic manifestations of his pastimes with the cowherd girls. His pastimes with the gopis are all displays of the transcendental existence, bliss, and knowledge, and although they're manifested apparently as sex love, the specific attraction of his pastimes with the gopis should never be misunderstood. The Bhagavatam relates that these transcendental pastimes in the 10th canto, and in order to reach the position to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord Krishna's pastime with the gopis, the Bhagavatam promotes the student gradually in 9 other cantos. According to Sri Jiva Goswami's statement, in accordance with the authoritative sources, Lord Krishna is the source of all other incarnations. It is noted that the Lord Krishna, as any source of incarnation, all the symptoms of the supreme truth in full are present in the person of Lord Sri Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord emphatically declares that there is no truth greater than or equal to himself. In this stanza, the Lord Swayam is particularly mentioned to confirm that the Lord Krishna has no other source than himself. Although in other places, the incarnations are described as Bhagavan because of their specific functions. Nowhere are they declared to be the Supreme Personality. In this stanza, the word Swayam signifies the supremacy as the Samon Bonum. The Samon Bonum Krishna is one without a second. He himself has expanded himself in various parts, portions, particles, in Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakasha, Tad Ekatma, Prabhava, Vibhava, Vilasa, Avatara, Abhesha Jivas, as provided. Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakasa, Tada Ekatma, Prabhava, Vibhava, Vilasa, Avesha, Jivas, as provided with innumerable energies. Innumerable energies. Where is that? Just suitable to the respectable persons and personalities. Learned scholars and transcendental subjects have carefully analyzed the Saman Born Krishna to have 64 principal attributes. All the expansions or categories of the Lord possess only some percentages of these attributes. But Sri Krishna is the possessor of the attributes sent person, and his personal expansions such as Swayam, Prakasha, Tadekatma, up to the categories of the avatars who are all Vishnu Tattva possess up to 93% of these transcendental attributes. So Lord Shiva, who is neither Avatara nor Avesha, is nor in between them, possesses almost 84% of the attributes. But the Jivas are the independent individual living beings in different stages of life, possess to the limit of the 78% of the attributes. In the conditioned state of different of material existence, the living being possess these attributes in very minute quantity, varying in terms of the pious life of the living being. The most like of the living beings is Brahma, the supreme administrator of one universe. He possesses 78% of the attributes in full. All of the demigods have the same attributes in less quantity. Various human beings possess the attributes in a very minute quantity. The standard of perfection for a human being is to develop the attributes up to 78% in full. The living being can never possess attributes like Shiva, Vishnu, or Lord Krishna. A living being can become godly by developing the 78% transcendental attributes in fullness, but he can never become a god like Shiva, Vishnu, or Krishna. He can become a Brahma in due course. The godly living beings, who are all residents of the planets in the spiritual sky, are eternal associates with God in different spiritual planets called Haridama and Mahesh Dama. The abode of Lord Krishna above all spiritual planets is Krishna Loka, Goloka, Vrindavan. And the perfected living beings, by developing 78% of the above attributes in fullness, can enter the planet of Krishna Loka after leaving the present material body. Janmaguhyam Bhagavato Yayetatprayato Naraha Swayam Pratar Granam Bhaktya Dukkha Grama Vimuchyate. Janma, birth, Guhyam, mysterious. Mysterious Bhagavataha of the Lord, Yah one. Yet at all this prayataha carefully, Nara man, Swayam evening, Pratah morning, Grinam recites Bhakti with the devotion, Dukkha Grama from all misery, Vimuchate gets relief from. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearance of the Lord with the devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all the miseries of the life. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of the Lord has declared that anyone who knows the principles of the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord will go back to Godhead after being relieved from this material tabernacle. So simply knowing factually the mysterious ways of the Lord's incarnation in this material world can liberate one from the material bondage. Therefore, the birth and the activities of the Lord, as manifested by Him for the welfare of the people in general, are not ordinary. They are mysterious, and only by those who carefully try to go deep into this matter by spiritual devotion is mystery discovered. Thus, one gets liberation from the material bondage. It is the advice, therefore, one so simply recites this chapter of Bhagavatam describing the appearance of the Lord in different incarnations, sincerity and devotion can have insight into the birth and activities of the Lord. The very word "vimukti," liberation, indicates that that the Lord's birth and activities are all transcendent. Otherwise, simply by reciting them, one could not attain liberation. They are therefore mysterious, and those who do not follow the prescribed regulations of devotional service are not entitled to enter into the mysteries of his births and activities. एतद्रूपं भगवतो हि आरूपस्य चिदात्मनः मया मायागुणे विरचितं महाधाभिरात्मनः. All these rupam forms Bhagavataha of the Lord. He is certainly Arupasya, of one who has no material form, Chit Atmanaha of the transcendence, Maya, material energy Gunaha by the qualities which Irachitam manufactured, Mahadadbihi with the ingredients of the matter, Atmani in the self. The conception of the Virata, universal form of the Lord, as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form, purpose. The conception of the Lord, known as the Vishvarupa, the Virata Rupa, is particularly not mentioned along with the various incarnations of the Lord, because all the incarnations of the Lord mentioned above are transcendent, and there is not a tinge of materialism in their bodies. There is no difference between the body and the self as there is in the conditioned soul. The Virat Rupa is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, the material Virat Rupa is present, and it will be explained in the second canto. In the Virat Rupa, the material manifestations of the different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Actually, all such descriptions are for the neophytes. The neophytes cannot pursue of anything beyond matter. The material conception of the Lord is not counted in the list of his factual forms. As Paramatma, the super soul, the Lord is within each and every material form, even within the atoms, but the outward material form is but an imagination, both for the Lord and for the living being. The present forms of the conditioned souls are also not factual. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord is as Virat is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living beings are all living spirits and have original spiritual bodies. Yatha nabasi meghavu renurva parthivo nile evam drastati drishyatvam aropitam buddhihi. Yatha, as it is nabasi in the sky, mega ogaha as massive clouds, reno with dust, why as well as parthivaha muddiness, anile in the air, evam thus drastari to the seer, drishyatvam for the purpose of seeing, aropitam is impelled, abuddhibihi by the less intelligent persons. Translation: clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent persons say that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions on the spirit self. It is further confirmed here that with our material eyes and senses, we cannot see the Lord, who is all spirit. We cannot even detect the spiritual spark which exists within the material body of the living being. We look to the outward covering of the body or subtle mind of the living being, but we cannot see the spiritual spark within the body. So we have to accept the living being's presence by the presence of his gross body. Similarly, those who want to see the Lord with their present material eyes or with the material senses are advised to meditate on the gigantic external feature called Virat Rupa. For instance, in his car, which can be seen very easily, we identify the car with the man within the car. And the president goes out in his particular car, we say there is the president. For the time being, we identify the car with the president. Similarly, less intelligent men who want to see God immediately without necessary qualification are shown. First, the gigantic material cosmos as the form of the Lord. Although the Lord is within and without. The clouds in the sky and the blue of the sky are better appreciated in this connection. Although the bluish tint of the sky and the sky itself are different. We conceive of the color of the sky as blue, but that is a general conception for the layman only. अतः परं यद् अव्यक्तम् अव्यूढगुणविहितम् अदृष्टाश्रुतवस्तुत्वा सजीवो यत् पुनर्भवः. Atah, this param beyond, yet which avyaktam unmanifested, avidya, without formal shape, guna brihitam, affected by the qualities adrishta, unseen, ashruta, unheard, vastutavat, being like that, sa that, janaha, living beings, yet that which punah bhavaha takes birth repeatedly. Translation: beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety. Otherwise, he could not have he would not have repeated births. As a gross cosmic manifestation of his subtle form, which is simply realized without being seen, heard, or manifested. But in fact, all these gross or subtle conceptions of the body are in relation to the living beings. The living being has his spiritual form beyond this gross material or subtle psychic existence. Okay, I'll continue with this later. Thank you all for joining. Hare Krishna. Hare